Syrian military for the first time, they have made a big move. To me, this is perhaps the biggest move they have made so far against Israel. I want to share with you this particular map so that you can understand where all of these things are happening. What you see on the map is the place called Al-Kiswa, as you can see right behind you. This is where it was playing out. What happened? The IDF forces, the Zionist terrorist forces, they came here, 60 soldiers on a helicopter. Actually, there were 4 helicopters. That's what was reported. When they came here, they dropped those 60 soldiers. They stayed there for 2 hours. And at the same time, on the same day, they attacked the Syrian military, the army. In other words, they are getting free access to any part of Syria. But unlike in the past where we have seen the Syrian military doing absolutely nothing, this time they did something. What was that something is what we'll be discussing in this video. Before I move on and explain all of this in details, just to remind you, if you are not subscribed, consider subscribing to my channel. Now, I want to actually share with you this particular news first so that I can set the stage with you. So this news came 2 days ago on Times of India. They have reported new Arab state backed by Saudi, means Arab state means Syria, backed by Saudi Arabia. As we know, that Saudi Arabia's MBS is very much now involved with Syria, pledged to invest in Syria millions and millions of dollars, if not billions. And that is a good news for Syria because they need the money. And also we have seen how Turkey is backing Syria's military. So Saudi Arabia is going to be helping Syria's infrastructure, building all the roads, offices, train station, airports. At the same time, Turkey will be supporting them militarily. So that's a good news for Syria, right? Now, this report is saying, again, it came 2 days ago, that the Syrian army, backed by Saudi, issues direct warning to Israel. Stop, quote unquote, stop your expansionist, okay, or expansionism or something like that. So what happened? Tensions between Syria and Israel have escalated after Damascus accused Israeli troops of crossing into the southern territory near Mount Hermon. Okay, after they entered into this piece of land in the mountain, Syria lost it, and they have said Syria's foreign minister, for example, called the move a complete violation of international law and all that. And the agreement they had in 1974, the disengagement agreement deal, and they have also accused Israel of expansionist plans. Israel has not yet responded to the allegations. Of course, Israel is not going to be responding to any of these allegations whatsoever because they feel like they are entitled to do whatever they want in the region and around the world. And they call it self-defense. Now, this report is also, there is this new report actually that talks about the recent development. So take a look at this report. For example, on the screen you can see that Saudi Arabia, again coming from Times of India, they said Saudi Arabia backed Arab military, its rare anti-Israel operation, IDF in panic, 8 soldiers killed in bombing. Now, the 8 soldiers killed that they are reporting are Syrian soldiers. They do not mention whether they are Israeli soldiers, but it looks like these are Syrian soldiers. So Israel has launched fresh airstrikes on Syria for the second day in a row, targeting the town of Al-Kiswa in Damascus, southern countryside. Now we'll be talking about the move that Syria made, as I said to you in the beginning of this video. So what kind of move they made? So this air attack in Syria by Israel came in the town of Al-Kiswa in Damascus, and this is the map that I showed you. Al-Kiswa, southern countryside. This is Damascus southern countryside. Reports suggest the strikes were aimed at Syrian troops who had discovered surveillance and eavesdropping devices near petrol routes. Okay, so looking for Israeli devices, looking for Israelis' presence, being proactive. That's the key word here, really, because Syria the military doesn't really act, let alone proacting, right? We don't normally see them doing that. But this time, in this area, Syrian military, they said, enough is enough, including the foreign minister of Syria, and Ahmed al-Shara is also involved. Erdogan from Turkey is also involved. So all of these people, they're getting together, and looks like to me they're holding meetings, including maybe with Saudi Arabia's MBS, to talk about Israel's increased activities inside of Syria. Because if they allow these IDF terrorist forces to really have control, militarily, or in terms of spying on Syrian militaries, spying on Syrian government, then it's open book for them. There will be no state secret for Syria whatsoever. I mean, Syria is going to be completely exposed. So this time they proactively looked for surveillance, cameras, videos, drones. There are so many other ways you can spy on another country. So they're looking for all of those things, the Syrian military. And they're also looking for devices, eavesdropping devices. And as we know, guys, the Zionist forces, they're very good in blackmailing other countries. I would give a lot of credit to the Syrian military that finally they're looking for Israeli presence in the area, and hopefully, this is my hope, that they will take action. Now, I want to actually share something very, very interesting, and that is this particular commentary from Netanyahu. Take a listen what he's saying here. Then John Mearsheimer, he will make some commentary as well.
And Iran is fighting us on a 7-front war. Obviously Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, the militias in Iraq and Syria, Judea, Samaria, West Bank, Iran itself. They'd like to topple Jordan, and their goal is to have a combined...
Everything he's saying is a lie anyways, but just take a listen.
Ground offensive from various fronts, coupled with a combined missile bombardment. We have to, we've been given the opportunity to scuttle it, and we will. The first requirement is to cut that hand, Hamas.
Yeah, you are just moronic, you're a liar, pathetic psychopath, genocidal maniac.
People who do this thing to us are not going to be there. And we'll have a long battle. I don't think it's that long, but we'll get rid of them. We also have to deter the other elements of the Iran terror axis. But we have to deal with the axis. The axis doesn't threaten only us. It threatens you.
He's talking about Iran, the axis, also talking about the Houthis. And he's talking to the U.S. corrupt government officials, convincing them, hey, look, Iran is not our issue. Houthis are not just our issue. Hamas is not just our issue. It's your issue too. That's how he sells his, wars to the U.S. lawmakers, those corrupt U.S. government officials.
It's on the march to conquer the Middle East. Conquer the Middle East. Conquer.
Yeah, but he just said that he has planned for greater Israel. So who is conquesting Israel? Middle East. Who is doing that? It's Israel. because part of the greater Israeli plan, you take over other countries.
Means actually conquer. Conquer Saudi Arabia, conquer the Arabian Peninsula. It's just a question of
Pathetic.
time. And what's standing in their way is the small Satan, that's us, on the road to the middle-sized Satans, that's the Europeans. They're always offended when I tell them that. You're the great Satan, not them.
Yeah, BS. I don't know if I can stomach what he's saying here, but let's listen to what John Mearsheimer is saying here.
He can't. He's blowing smoke. There were actually 3 very interesting articles in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal yesterday really show how much trouble Israel is in. The first 2 articles, which were in the Wall Street Journal, said, first of all, that Iran is in very good shape these days, that Iran is improved its position in the world. It's become something of a worldwide power. And then it went on to describe why Iran is doing quite well. Then the second article, the second and third articles both dealt with the whole question of the Israelis' capability to deal with Hamas. And it's quite clear from those 2 articles that the IDF is in real trouble, that the military wants a ceasefire in Gaza.
I mean, of course, the military is in big trouble. IDF is in big trouble. And this is why they're proactively trying to demilitarize Syria. They're trying to demilitarize Lebanon. Nobody should have a weapon because these cowards, Zionist cowards, they cannot fight a real battle, real war. So it's better that nobody has any weapon, and they're pushing their daddy, Donald Trump, to accomplish just that.
Because the military forces are worn out. They need a break. And when you think about them attacking Hezbollah at this point in time, it's hard to see how they can pull that off. Again, the military is asking Netanyahu for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Yeah, they're not asking, they're begging. Ayal Zamir is begging. He said, in fact, he ordered in an indirect way, he ordered Netanyahu, take the deal, go for a ceasefire. Why? Because he knows he cannot fight. His army is too coward. His army is too exhausted. They love do vacationing in Europe. They don't like to go to war. That's not what they want to do. That's not even their land. Why they will be fighting? Who they are fighting for? Who they will be fighting for? So in Syria, the military did make some good move by trying to discover the surveillance and eavesdropping devices, drones, and other military weapons and assets of Israel, of Zionist forces. Hopefully, next move we will see is Syria is actually getting engaged with these Zionist forces and kick them out from their land.